Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news and updates from around the world. I'm your host, Barbara, and I'm glad you're joining us today. We're starting off with a story that's been making headlines in recent days. The situation in Haiti has taken a turn for the worse, with the country struggling to cope with rising violence and instability. According to reports, the Haitian government is facing significant challenges in maintaining law and order, with armed gangs and criminal organizations exerting control over large swaths of territory. The international community has been called upon to provide support and assistance to help stabilize the situation. The United States, in particular, has been urged to play a more active role in helping to address the crisis. However, the issue is complex, and there are differing opinions on the best course of action. Some argue that military intervention may be necessary to restore order and protect civilians, while others believe that such an approach could exacerbate the situation and lead to further instability. The Mexican government, for example, has expressed concerns about the potential consequences of military action, with President Claudia Sheinbaum stating that a military invasion would be unacceptable. Meanwhile, in other news, Bolivia is preparing for a presidential election on Sunday, which is expected to be one of the most closely contested in recent years. The election comes at a time of economic crisis, with fuel shortages and high inflation plaguing the country. The outcome of the election could have significant implications for Bolivia's foreign policy, particularly with regards to its relationships with China, Russia, and other regional partners. We'll be keeping a close eye on developments in both Haiti and Bolivia, and we'll bring you updates as more information becomes available. In the meantime, let's take a look at some other stories making headlines today. In Argentina, a unique rock camp for girls has been gaining attention, with young musicians from across South America coming together to learn and perform. The Amplified Girls Workshop is part of a broader movement to promote women in rock music, and it's an inspiring story that we'll be exploring further in future episodes. And finally, Mexico has transferred 26 high-profile inmates to the United States as part of ongoing efforts to cooperate on security issues. The move comes amidst reports of increased tensions between the two countries over issues like drug trafficking and trade tariffs. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into the latest developments from around the world. In our middle segment today, we're focusing on a critical situation unfolding in Lebanon, where the militant group Hezbollah has vowed not to disarm despite a government decision to remove its weapons by the end of the year. The leader of Hezbollah, Naim Qassem, has stated that this decision serves Israel's interests and facilitates the killing of resistance fighters and their families. He emphasized that the government should instead focus on spreading its authority and evicting Israel from Lebanon. This stance has significant implications for the region. Given the long-standing tensions between Hezbollah and Israel, it's essential to understand the context behind this development. The Lebanese government's decision to disarm Hezbollah is part of a U.S.-backed plan aimed at implementing a ceasefire with Israel. However, Hezbollah's refusal to lay down its arms is rooted in its belief that its weapons are necessary for defense against Israeli aggression. The situation is complex, with various factions in Lebanon holding different views on Hezbollah's role and the necessity of its disarmament. While some groups oppose Hezbollah's armed presence, seeing it as a threat to state authority, others support the group's right to maintain its military capabilities as a means of resistance against Israel. As the international community continues to pressure Lebanon to resolve this issue, it's crucial to consider the potential consequences of any actions taken. The conflict between Hezbollah and Israel has already resulted in significant loss of life and destruction, and any escalation could have far-reaching repercussions for the region. In presenting this story, we aim to provide a balanced view, acknowledging the perspectives of all parties involved. It's vital to approach such sensitive topics with fairness and empathy, recognizing the deep-seated concerns and historical context that underpin the conflict. As we move forward, it will be important to monitor developments in Lebanon closely, considering the potential impacts on regional stability and the well-being of the Lebanese people. For now, we'll continue to follow this story and provide updates as more information becomes available. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I'd like to bring your attention to a fascinating story that has been making waves in the tech world. It appears that Taiwan is facing a significant challenge as China ramps up its advanced manufacturing capabilities, potentially dominating exports for the next 3 years. Now, let's take a closer look at this development and what it could mean for the global economy. According to reports, China's plug-in hybrids are becoming increasingly popular, and the country's EV giants are betting big on humanoid robots. This shift in manufacturing power could have far-reaching implications, from job markets to trade agreements. On the other hand, some experts argue that this change could also bring about new opportunities for innovation and collaboration between nations. As we've seen with the rise of TikTok influencers tackling medical tourism, technology can be a powerful tool for raising awareness and driving positive change. In related news, researchers have made significant breakthroughs in neural networks, which could potentially live in hardware and revolutionize the way we approach AI. This development has the potential to make AI systems faster, more efficient, and more accessible to a wider range of devices. As we consider these advancements, it's essential to remember that with great power comes great responsibility. We must prioritize transparency, accountability, and ethics in the development and deployment of these technologies. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay engaged.